Hello and welcome to another dramatic reading by me, Andrzani84. Today we're resuming the Misery Senshi Neo Zero double Blitzkrieg debacle after months of waiting and getting no response in regards to my original plan to this part of the story. So I thought I'd just continue it since I came over, asked me on YouTube and this is going to continue, so I decided I might as well continue it. Data 9, the Neo Zero attacks. The Neo Zero was beginning its next round of attacks. First, Yoriko decided to destroy a couple of SDF USAF based in Shiba-Ken. Yoriko approached Control Tower and fired a Neo Sidewinder at it, destroying it. Then blew up some fuel tanks, causing a devastating inferno to engulf the entire base. Ace, were those fuel tanks or nukes? She did the same thing with several other bases along her way. So then set a course for Tokyo. Tokyo is now a maddening sea of panicked citizens. Why? The plane's nowhere near them. Everyone was running like the king of monsters himself, Gojira. You can call him Godzilla, there's nothing wrong with that. Was running amok in their community again. Confirmed Godzilla exists in this universe. The mobile unit of the National Police, the famed riot control unit, was desperately trying to keep some sense of order, but to no avail. With body length shield beginning to buckle from the strain of all the humanity pressed against them. Even the TMPD, he was having difficulty in keeping matters under control. Everywhere the screams of those who sensed they were to be condemned were filling the air. We're all going to die! Doomsday! Merciful Buddha, spare us! No, I'm too young to die! The end of the world is near! Prepare to meet your doom! Wait, these people... Like they're too broken up. Is there no God to save us? This is about to answer his question. Suddenly the Sailor Senshi appeared. Sailor Moon summoned from breast. Citizens of Tokyo, I implore you to stay calm, she shouted. Giving into panic will only mean the enemy will win over you by fear. Please, calm down. However, it was of no use. Soon the crowd began to overwhelm the Sailor Senshi right where they stood. Diana was knocked over and would have been trampled if it hadn't been for the quick thinking of Sailor Uranus, who pulled her out. Are you alright? Sailor Uranus asked. More or less, Diana answered. Kind of like those most pids we have back home. Melee, the mobile unit, and the TMPD were themselves overwhelmed. Later on, it was reported about there were several officers on both forces who were crushed to death. Jesus! Chaos had clearly begun to assert itself on Tokyo. Shortly after the panic had begun, the Neo Zero arrived. Yoriko started the terror right away by firing a Neo Sidewinder right at the famed Tokyo Tower, blowing it to scrap metal. Jesus. Then set her sights on the Diet building. She fired missiles at the chambers of both the House of Representatives and the House of Councillors and a third in the middle of the building. Horrendous damages wreaked on the building. For good measure, she fired 2 missiles at the Tokyo Dome, blowing up the roof and damaging a good portion of the stadium. Yoriko smiled herself sinister way. Soon, Tokyo will fall to the iron rule of the Naira, she yelled. As soon as he noticed something on her radar, there were 5 blips on the screen. The IFF device indicated there were 5 gunmen F-14A Tomcats. He'd obviously been launched from a US Navy aircraft fighter. Yoriko flew in the direction of the squadron closing in on her. When she got to visual range, she could see from the tall AO markings they were with the famed fighting 143rd Squadron, alias the Puking Dogs. That's a terrible alias. She could hear the talk of the radio as the fighters approached. Somehow, telling her a victor, we've got our bandits on visual now, said one of the pilots. The squadron leader responded with, all units prepared to lock on target and fire on my mark. It looked like they were going to use the 20mm Vulcan cannons on her since they were so close. Yoriko made a power dive as the bullets began to fire away. Damn, she's too fast for us, Victor, shouted another pilot. Angel up to 15 and prepare to fire sidewinders, said the squadron leader. Yoriko saw them turn to her and prepared to fire their sidewinder missiles at 15,000 feet. Yoriko used the hood to target the 5 Tomcats, then programmed 5 Neo Sidewinders at them. Programmed? She calmly pressed the fire button and saw each of the missiles take out their targets. They didn't know what hit them. Presumably a miss, they didn't recognise a missile. Yoriko sneered and flew back to the heart of the city. It was on the most important occasion, only on the most important occasion that a governor of a prefecture like Tokyo ever got to go into the Imperial Palace. Generally, the palace was only open to the public on 2 days in the year, the Emperor's birthday and New Year's Day. However, Governor Guy was not making a social call to Emperor Akihito. Very life of the nation at stake. Is now in an underground bunker beneath the Imperial Palace, speaking to both the Emperor and Empress Michiko. Good measure of a soul oil is there as well. Governor Guy began to speak. Your Imperial Majesties, Tokyo hasn't suffered as much damage like this since the end of the war. War that never touched Tokyo as far as I can tell. Terrorists who hazardous aircraft can virtually wipe out this entire city with full impunity. Except instead she's digging around listening to heavy metal and blowing up US aircraft. Citizens of our nation are now turning their eyes to you for guidance in this great matter. You need to assurances of this evil past. The Soul Warrior added, Governor Guy is right. People are looking to both your Imperial Majesties in this terrible time. They're looking to the Empress? Really? Speak to the people. Tell them what they need to hear. The Emperor arose and began to speak. Somehow I wish that I could have avoided having to face a crisis like this. I have seen reports myself and I have to confess that I fear for our nation. And do we want to return to the chaos regime that had once controlled this nation, brought on all of us and the world? It was in this very room that the War Council met, presided over by my father, the Showa Emperor. Why is there a separate paragraph in speech? Voters tired and what course of action was to be taken. Knew that we had foolishly let the militarist control every aspect of our society, but they led us to this calamity. He had to do what was right. He voted to end the war. Went on the radio and announced to his nation that we had to bear the unbearable. As this group seizes our nation and begins to carry out its agenda, how many more bombs will fall? Must we suffer nuclear terror of the Americans, the Russians and the Chinese this time I'm around? Well, no, these are just terrorists who've stolen an OP plane. It's not their boats who had led us to ruin, destroy half a century of progress or good relations with the world. We might ocean to a nearby servant who bowed out deeply. The 4 men HK out our delivering address shortly. The servant bowed deeply again and left to make a phone call. Governor Guy said, You're doing the right thing, Your Majesty. About 15 minutes later, this was heard on NHK. We interrupt our continuing coverage of the Neo Zero crisis to bring you this message from the Emperor. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting His Imperial Majesty, the Emperor. Redundant much? There was a picture of the Emperor and the Empress in the bunker. The Emperor stood up and began to speak. Citizens of Japan, we are now facing the greatest crisis in over 50 years. Those who out there who wish to restore militaristic control and regimentation in our society. These extremists think that the old ways are the best ways. These ways were not the best ways. Wait, how does he know what the neighbour wants? They brought immeasurable suffering and pain on countless millions in Asia and the world. No, they didn't. They were mostly isolationists. As until the war, the primary weapon of these extremists is fear and terror. However, they can be beat back if we do not submit to our worst fears. If we stay calm and not panic, we will have won half the battle. Therefore, I implore this nation to stay calm, and display in the face of the enemy the calmness and civility that have marked our nation and our way of life from time immemorial. We must not let fear conquer us. We must not let the enemy defeat us. Together, as a united front, we will show these extremists that we will not submit to their reign of fear. Thank you for your attention. The Emperor said, please stay tuned to NHK for more developments in this crisis. Okay, when are the Sailor Scouts going to turn back? Good part of Tokyo is now in flames. Fire, it seemed, was everywhere. Sailor Moon had transformed into her eternal mode and was flying above to survey the damage. She is permanently in eternal mode, it's the current version of her suit. And 2, eternal mode can't fly, those wings are purely decorative. Everywhere it seemed, there was damage. Everywhere it seemed what? He was now over as the coup, her own neighbourhood, and sat down where her house was. Thankfully, so far it was undamaged. She ran in. Mom, Dad, Shingo! She shouted. Soon she could hear footsteps in the basement. Soon Genji, Kuko, and Shingo emerged. Mom, Dad, look, it's Eternal Sailor Moon, Shingo said. Right now, Sailor Moon was not going to be coy about her real identity, and she was too concerned. Mom, Dad, Shingo, it's actually me, Usagi, she calmly announced. No way, you can't be, Kenji said in shock. Sailor Moon waved a hand over her transforming brooch and referred to identity of Usagi. Everyone was speechless for a couple of minutes. Usagi, is that really you? Kuko started to say some. Yes, it's me, to confirm. I guess you should know the truth now. For the past 6 years, I've been fighting evil as Sailor Moon. Luna told me that I was reincarnation of a princess who lived on the moon over 1,000 years ago, that it was my destiny to lead humanity to an era of peace in the future. I went to work alongside Sailor Senshi and Mamu's tuxedo mask. They also were from the Moon Kingdom, except Mamu, who was known there as Endymion and was from Earth. In future, Chiba used to be mine and Mamu's daughter. Right now I have to stop this madwoman from destroying Tokyo and forcing our government to give in to her terrorist organization. They're not giving in! Ami was one of us as well. She was Sailor Mercury. When she left for Germany, she transferred those powers to Daria. Now I don't even know if Ami is still alive or not. I'm fighting for all of our futures here. Please, if you love me, you'll leave here and get to a place of safety. Many of the tears were beginning to run down her face. Saga was generally worried for her family's safety. She then heard footsteps behind her and saw the rest of the Sailor Senshi were right behind her. Tuxedo asked first to speak. Sailor Moon, is everyone here in the Tsukino household safe? Yes, they are, Mao-chan, said Usagi. Everyone was in a state of shock. It's alright, we know everything now, Kenji said. Yeah, I have to admit, but I still had lingering doubts about you until now, Mamoru. I thought you were too old for my daughter and was making her a juvenile delinquent. Now I know I grounded the situation. How does that change your opinion? How can you forgive this foolish man? Mamoru extended a hand and said, there's nothing to apologise for, you just didn't know. Now I'd be honoured to call you as a friend. Not family? But we shook hands. Now we'd like you and all that, Ikuko said. How can you help us? Mamoru replied, you know that resort you went to 6 years ago? For one, that type of water spirit I had summoned I was brainwashed to do Impo's bidding. How could they know that? It never happened, you asked. I don't know anything about you summoning spirits. I do know that some strange happenings are going on there. Ken's reply. Go there, Mamoru said. You'll be safe. Hey, I'm not sure if the evil spirit's gone, but you'll be safe. We will take your advice, Kenji said. That was the flattest dialogue ever. Shortly, the Tsukino's packed their necessities and took off in the car. It is better for them until things are resolved, Usagi said. Now, we've got unfinished business to deal with, Mamoru said. Suddenly, someone somewhat familiar appeared. Usagi swore she was seeing double. But he was there, all the same. A man dressed like an Arab with a scimitar at his side. Undoubtedly, it was the Moonlight Knight. Mamoru, you can't be at two places at once. Can't be at two... At what? Usagi said. Sailor Moon, surely you know me, the Moonlight Knight. He can't speak. Daria turned to Mayo and asked, what's this all about? You mean that Mamoru has two secret identities? Mayo said, it's kind of a complicated story. Mayo has a name, it's Haruka. The Moonlight Knight then stopped and removed the veil from his face. Usagi stood there in shock. None of them threw a hat at Motoki, the owner of the Crown Game Center that Usagi still hung out at after school. Mamoru, can you explain what's going on here? Usagi demanded. I will, Motoki started. But shortly after the Sailor Galaxia incident, Mamoru had that close call but at disappearance while he was flying to America. After the incident was resolved, he approached me and told me all about you and the others, Usagi. He then gave me a costume for Moonlight Knight and trained me in some basic fighting skills. Where did he get the costume? If Mamoru's disappeared again if the Sailor Senshi needed some more muscle, I was going to be the ace in the hole. I guess that right now you're going to need all the help you can get. As to confirm that remark, Neozero streaked out of the sky again and straight for Sailor Senshi. How did it know they'd be here? The death grip cannon was roaring at full blast. As everyone scattered. Okay, sister, you asked for it, as I said. Eternal Moon Star Power Makeup! That's still not the transformation phrase. Transformed into Eternal Sailor Moon and began to fly right towards the Neozero. Yorika just sneered and started to put another CD player in her machine. This time it was Black Monk Time from the Monks. Racist. I was listening to the opening track, Monk Time, hearing Gary Berger's frantic voice. Alright, my name is Gary. Let's go. It's beef time, it's hop time, it's monk time. You know we don't like the army. What army? Who cares what army? Why do you kill all those kids over there in Vietnam? Mad Viet Cong. My brother died in Vietnam. James Bond, who is he? Frantic electric banjo riff from Dave Day. How can you have an electric banjo? Stop it, I don't like it. It's too loud in my ears. Pussy glow is coming down and we like it. We don't like the atomic bomb. Shrieking organ riff from Larry Clark. Stop it, I don't like it. Stop it. What's your meaning, Larry? Another organs dude from Larry. You think like I think. You're a monk. I'm a monk. We're all monks. Dave, Larry, Eddie, Roger, everybody, let's go. It's beat time. It's hot time. It's monk time now. Alright. Sam was flying as fast as he could. Grabbed her old moon scepter, despite it being destroyed. Pointed at the cockpit. You'll not destroy our future, you spawn of hell. Sailor Moon shrieked. He prepared to fire her moon princess halation beam. Yoko was hearing Larry Clark's frantic organ pain. Then because of it's hot time, it's monk time. Blow it out your ass, was all she said as she squeezed the trigger of the Death Grip Cannon. Why the hell is this thing named the Death Grip Cannon? Then Sam began saying, Moon Princess Halation! And suddenly hot lead tore through her like jagged needles. Sailor Moon fell helplessly from the sky and landed on the ground with a terrifying thud. The rest of the Sailor Senshi ran to her, diving first get to her. Usagi, speak to me, Dara Yoda shaking her. Are you alright? Sailor Jupiter kneeled down beside her. She gave a quick check of her vital signs. Gosh, she can do that. She'd pleasing badly, she said. I don't think there's even a pulse. We have to get the Sailor Starlights. For some reason. Only Sailor Star Healer can save her now. Again, for some reason. Dara became very mad. Raised her head to the sky and screamed, Now you've made it personal, you bitch! She ran from the direction of Panera Zero. Oh, after all, the strongest of us failed to defeat it. Surely I, the newbie, Ubi, will succeed. Daria, come back here, Luna ordered sharply. Senshi, don't drop everything to carry out personal vendettas. I can think of a few instances where they do that. Let her go, Luna, they said. Since Ami's not here, I'm now in charge. Let Daria blow some steam. She'll be back. Mama, in the meantime, meets his cellular phone and called the Sailor Starlights. Why does he have their number? This was the only chance Nagi had now to survive. Daria, meanwhile, was still running when suddenly something smacked up against her head with a loud crack. She fell down helpless. Stay right where you are, said an iron voice behind her. Don't make another move. Daria suddenly found herself surrounded by 9 ninja soldiers. Why are they ninja soldiers? She held her hand up in surrender. They took her away to a secret location near the Smito Heavy Industries headquarters. How the hell is this a secret if it's a heavy industry nearby? Dr. Vanderhelp will be awaiting for them there. Great, now I've been captured, she thought herself. Wait until I send my next postcard. It will say, Dear Mom, Dan and Quinn, I know a POW being held by an extremist group. Please make sure to inform the Red Cross and send those POW packages. Love, Daria. What a trip this has been. Okay, that's a good one. Back at Lawndale, with 3 Lawndales mate as far as the local YMCA. Why don't they stick there? It's fun to stay at the YMCA. Decided to stay there for the night. Oh, we did stick there. Mr. DiMartino was taking his AK-47. And from what I've heard, this dude, a major American weirdo. Why would he, and fanatic, why would he have a Russian gun? When Helen Morgendorfer ran screamed to him, I can't find her! I can't find her! Don't interrupt me while I'm cleaning my AK-47, Mr. DiMartino yelled at her, his right eye bulging out again. You want me to shoot my eye out? Now who can't you find? My younger daughter Quinn, Helen continued. I haven't been able to find her since the plane crash. Wait, Quinn's the younger daughter? I thought she was the oldest. The writing's been confusing. Mr. DiMartino motioned to Miss Barch and Amy. You two, find out what happened to Quinn Morgendorfer, he snapped at them. I don't like taking orders from male scum like you, DiMartino, Miss Barch said. Oh yeah, what does this fic needed? A feminist? In the middle of all their troubles. Mr. DiMartino pointed his gun and said, Well, my gun and I have a different opinion. Sure, terrorists are taking over our town, so let's try and kill each other instead of fighting them off. Miss Barch took the hint and left with Amy. What a bull. I think she might have a point about this dude. Male scumbag, she murdered herself. Correct. She left the YMCA and went down the street. Soon they saw someone. Excuse me, Amy asked, have you seen Quinn Morgendorfer? You bet I did, the bears began to say. Beavis and Butthead dragged her to the bus stop, kicked the driver out, and drove the bus all the way back to Highland, I figure. Wait, how do those two know how to drive? Might as well keep my car and go over there, Miss Bart said. I always hate those two creeps. They always make mischief and come here to see Highland take on Lawndale. All men are scum, Amy, and don't you forget it. Okay? Hey, the feminism is getting a bit overdrawn now. Amy was beginning to see that not all guys like Mamu or even like Uraro Rio, the smart but kind boy she met back in the Sailor Senshi's early days when we were searching for Seven Ring. Oh, crystals that swarm the Silver Imperium crystal. Oh god, that's a long sentence. Put some commas in. But at least she didn't think that all men were scum, at least not just yet, implying she's going to think that soon. It was about 10:30 PM. Beavers and Butthead were watching TV. Yeah, how are they able to get out of town with the Lawndale militia? They were watching reports of a Jal crash from the Lawndale militia coup. Cool, we're on TV, Beavis, Butthead said. Wah. Beavis said excited. I think we're over there, replied Butthead, pointing to TV. This is cool, Beavis said, thinking doing it. Butthead about it is. But made charge of aims with channel and tuned into a channel showing the newsreel footage of the Hindenburg disaster. Was this disaster night? They began their hideous laughter again. Hey, Butthead, asked Beavis. Butthead like, what, Beavis? Beavis said, this the Super Bowl? What? I think so, Beavis, was Butthead's answer. Looks like we're good, yeah, Blim. We then saw the airship explode and heard Morrison say, it's burst into flames. Fire! 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 I am the god of hellfire, and I bring you fire. I need you to burn. Fire! I want you to learn. And Beavis said, okay, he didn't say the song, that was all me. Cool, it's crashing right onto a playing field, Butthead said. Began my hideous laughter again. Meanwhile in the closet, Quinn had found a pin on the floor and managed to unlock the door. They didn't tie her up. She slipped out, making sure that she had her bra back on, oh god, and slipped out of the house. Beavis, did you just hear the door open? Asked Butthead. Beavis replied, I think so, Butthead. Better check on Quinn, asked Butthead. Beavis got up and checked. When he saw no man, he went, ah! Quinn's gone! Quinn's gone! Butthead went over and said, damn it, Beavis, now how are we going to score? Maybe go straight and get real girlfriends? But I know where she went though, Beavis replied. With that, they left to find Quinn. Quinn was out of bed when she reached the home of Tom Anderson. And because she knows that, she rang the doorbell and she was opened by Mr. Anderson. Hello, young lady, he said. What can I do for you? My name's Quinn Morgendorfer, she began. I'm from Lawndale. Beavis and Butthead kidnapped me and took me to their place, but I managed to escape. I need help. You're Daria Morgendorfer's sister, aren't you? Mr. Anderson asked. Quinn replied, yes, I am. Well, I remember her, Mr. Anderson replied. Smart little girl she is. You want to call your parents? Yes, please, begged Quinn. They entered the house. But then Beavis and Butthead saw them enter, somehow, and made to the door, kicking it down. Quinn, we don't like girls like you running away from us, Butthead said. Yeah, that's not cool, Beavis added. You boys have done the most dangerous thing I've ever heard about. Really? The most heinous thing you ever heard about is attempted rape? Hey, that Beavis shows how out of the loop you are. I know, fine now, hey. Yes, now. I'm going to call the police right now, Mr. Anderson said. No way, Beavis screamed. That, he found a golf club that was lying nearby and began to bludgeon Mr. Anderson with it. Jesus! Soon he was lying there, dead in a pool of blood. What? Why with a violent murder? Seriously. Cool, he's dead, Beavis said. Now I can do what we want for Quinn. You murderers, don't you know right from wrong? Quinn sobbed. I think it's pretty obvious, but they don't, Quinn. You do a striptease for us, bitch, Butthead ordered. Ah yes, dreaded bitch. It's Ben like, let's have a web outfit we made that looks like that Gabriel chick's outfit from that Xena chick's show. Oh, Beavis said. No! Quinn shrieked. You won't deny us again, Beavis said, then clenched his fist and began to shake him down, going, boing, going, He moved in closer on Quinn. Quinn was screaming, someone help me! Suddenly there was a cold blast of air that hit the room. "7 spray! Freezing!" shouted the door voice from the front door. Beavis and Butthead are frozen solid. They're obviously alright. Quinton and see Amy and Miss Bart from the front door. How'd they know she'd be here? She ran to Amy and clapped her arms, crying. "I'm just glad you came," Quinn sobbed. "It's alright, it's over now," Amy said. Mrs. Bart and Dodo are now frozen. Beavis and Butthead and sneered. "You men are all scum. Can we please get rid of her now?" Di was in some dark room with a strong light on her face. She was tied to a chair. Suddenly a door opened. Dr. Vanderhelfen entered. "So, you're the new Sailor Mercury now, aren't you?" he said. Di gave a rather stock answer. "My name is Di Morgendorfer. I am a member of the Sailor Senshi. I am a citizen of the United States, demand to be treated as a prisoner of war in accordance with the Geneva Convention." "That would do you no good," Dr. Van Helfen replied. "The new Imperial Rural Assistance Association does not recognize the Geneva Convention. In fact, when we're done, we will rule the world and abolish the Geneva Convention, the United Nations, and all of the weak-kneed organizations and treaties. Japan will be the undisputed master of the world. And I'll hear both plans before we execute you." Or you could just execute her. I don't know. Oh, call me crazy. Data 10. The truth about Amazona Yoriko. Dr. Van Helfen looked at Di like a teacher would with a troublesome but promising student. He simply had her undivided attention. He was about to speak when Yoriko arrived. She had landed Beneo Zero at an airfield near the facility. She stepped and approached two of them. "I guess you may know this individual by now," Dr. Van Helfen said. "This is Amazona Yoriko. She is the nominal head of Benaira, but I wield the actual power in the organization. As you can see, she has bombed Tokyo with the Neo Zero with complete impunity. Don't think that you and your Sailor Senshi friends will be able to defeat us. We are too powerful to stop." He continued. "And now I think it is time that I told you about myself, Yoriko, and the aims of Benaira. Take a look at me. How old do you think I am?" "Why are you telling her this?" "My best guess has been your late 30s, Di replied. Dr. Van Helfen launched into his exposition of himself, Yoriko, and Benaira. That's a terrible way of noting it. "What if I told you that I am actually 89 years old? It's due to the Hinotori immortality pills that I take, but I'll get to that later on. What matters now is that you'll hear about myself. I was born to one of those old Junker families in the German province of Prussia. I witnessed the humiliating defeat of Kaiser Wilhelm and the Imperial Army at the hands of the decadent Americans. No, the Americans didn't really do much. Not on my own. I swore that I would never again see my beloved Germany be humiliated. I went to the best schools in Germany and eventually entered the then young field of genetics and cryogenics. When Adolf Hitler organized the Nazi Party, I joined and offered my services to the Führer in creating the master race that he sought to have. When the Nazis rose to power, I received approval from the Führer to conduct more experiments and carried them out on Bavaria, Jews, and crippled. But my greatest achievement was when I created the Hinotori immortality pills. When the Nazis conquered North Africa, an ancient text from Egypt was brought over to me. This text has been copied from ancient Chinese documents dating back to the time of Master Kang himself, and made its way through India, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and finally over to Egypt. Literally how? How did it make its way over there? It was an ancient formula for creating an immortality pill that allegedly came from the legendary Phoenix itself. Hinotori is Japanese for firebird or phoenix. No, the Japanese word for phoenix is Ho-Oh. Oh, which literally means flame king. Apparently the writer had been to Japan, where a phoenix appeared to him in a vision with Amaterasu Omikami, the sun and goddess, and her brother Susanoo, the wind god. Isn't the wind god Suijin? No, it's Kazejin. Fujin. The recipe called from a various of ingredients, which even today are hard to procure. But to cause them I did and create the first batch. I'm not going to tell you the ingredients, even though I'm exposing damn near everything else. I've taken the pill since I was in my early 30s. It was the creation of this pill that led me to my next task. Creating from a Führer a race of ultra soldiers who would defend the fatherland of the American subhumans, exterminate the Jews, crippled isn't a word, gypsies, and other inferior races. I told Frod Zavor to create this serum, but when I finally perfected it, the final assault on Berlin had begun, and the Soviet armies were closing in on me. I ran to the Japanese embassy and they conducted me out of the country, not where I found out that my beloved Führer and Eva Braun had killed themselves. I decided to go to Japan and hopefully give to them the outer soldier formula and at least help them defeat the Americans. However, the military leaders would not hear it from me. Remember, they are not Emperor Hirohito in actual control. The Emperor was a mere puppet in their hands. I stayed in Tokyo and hoped that they'd be desperate enough to finally come to me. However, the Americans soon used their atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki and the military surrendered. However, that soon proved to be a boon to me. Shortly before the atomic bombings, I learned that Gen and Tojo Hideki had an illegitimate child as a result of an affair he had with a prostitute who lived in the pleasure quarters of the Ginza. As soon as the American occupation forces arrived, I knew I had to act quickly. I wanted to seize the child from its mother's person for her infiltrating American line skies as a runaway Korean comfort woman and reading out secrets from the American soldiers, which he then told Gen Tojo about. They wanted to take the child to the United States, put her up for an adoption, and erase any memory of her ancestry. They were afraid if there was a child of Tojo's who was aware of his or her heritage, he or she might organize a new extremist organization that would take over Japan. I, however, got the prostitutes home first and promised them that I would take care of their girl. Soon enough, the American forces arrived at the house and got so incensed that they could not find the child. They arrested her, charged her with espionage, and had her executed. Meanwhile, I had spirited her away with me to Argentina, where I lived for a while. There, I injected my first batch of Ultra Soldier serum into her, but there was an unexpected reaction. The soldiers were unstable. I was forced to place her in cryogenic states until I could create an antidote. It took me 25 years for me to do that, during which I refined the Ultra Soldier formula. When I finally got her out of her cryogenic stasis, I used the antidote on her, then used the refined formula. The results were amazing. She now can lift 65 tons over her head, has the endurance of 50 men, and is in better physical conditions than the best Olympic athletes. And yet I'm sure the sailor Senshi will defeat her effortlessly. I began to indoctrinate her on Nazi philosophy, using of course the Führer's classic text, Mein Kampf. I had also sent her to the best schools in Japan. Eventually, she got her master's degree in political science from Tokyo University. Yoriko has been raised since she was 4 to be loyal to me. Wait, that was Yoriko? And why is her surname Amazana? I also have her on the Hinotori field. Now you will learn about my plan to conquer the world. As soon as we make the civilian government surrender to us, we will launch the greatest campaign to take back what is rightfully Japan's. No, it isn't. We will take the Kurils and Sakhalin Island from Russia. We will retake the Pescadores from China. We will re-annex both Koreas and Taiwan. We will conquer Indonesia, Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, Thailand, Myanmar, Singapore, Malaysia, the Philippines, India, Bhutan, Nepal, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Papua New Guinea and the other oceanic nations. We will then declare war on the United States, Great Britain, Russia, China and France and use nuclear bombs that we will appropriate from seized American base that we take over. I'm pretty sure American bases won't have nuclear bombs on hand. After those 5 nations are humiliated, we have threatened to unleash more nuclear weapons on the rest of the world unless it submits to Japan. No one will be able to stop us. No one! Yes, there is something that will stop you, Gary said. Dr. Van der Helfen continued unabated. And what will that be? God, the spirit of the Japanese people, humanity, freedom, the Americans over Russians? What will stop us, Daria? Daria replied. Public opinion will, because if you think the rest of the world is going to let you waltz into power and start this mayhem of yours, you're even crazier than I suspected. Dr. Van der Helfen was aghast. He continued, public opinion will stop me? Are you serious? See what decadence is out there right now. The Republic is being sated by a modern-day version of the old Roman bread and circus tactics. This time it's centers media controlled by very few people who make people watch trouser full of lies, half-truths, distortions. coloured opinions, useless trivia, promiscuous sex, wanton violence, and degradation. Much like this fan fiction, actually. You have celebrities and sports people who act outrageously and get away with it. No, they don't. A lot of people act outrageously and end up tanking their careers in results. Further, not a month passes by now unless there's news of a shooting in a school. Maybe in America. You have to remind you of Latro's Spruill incident or the shooting at Jonesboro, Arkansas and Springfield, Oregon. Why is he used this to describe Japan? It's only wonder groups like mine exist in many nations around the world. They're trying to restore sanity to this world. There are people like groups like mine all over the world. The National Front in France, the neo-Nazi skinheads in Germany, the neo-fascists in Italy, even in your country the right-wing militias and the white supremacists, and the disgruntled anti-government taxpayers like the Old County Taxpayers Association. And my weirdos like Timothy McVeigh and Terry Nichols who bomb Federation office buildings and kill innocent people, Dyer said. Dr. Vanderhelfen, the world you are dreaming of is in reality a nightmare. It will be a world ruled by madmen who think only they can be the source of law and order. But those who oppose them, especially minorities, the disabled and the poor, have to be exterminated. Hitler was close to bringing such a nightmare world to reality, but he was stopped. Your dream is about restoring Japanese glory. It's about bringing a fourth Reich into existence. Think my friends and I going to stand aside and let you know it's like you get away with this? When you are dead wrong. We'll stop you if it's the last thing we ever do. Yoriko got mad and slapped Daria. You're just wasting your breath on her, Yoriko said to Dr. Van der Helven. You're right, he said. Take her away to be executed. Daria was untied to pretend to take away. Great, she began to say to herself. It's a few days ago I was worrying about Beavis and Butthead heckling me at a football game. Now I'm about to be executed by firing squad. About the 6th story of my life. The Lawndale courthouse is filled with Lawndale militia personnel. Chambers and moot trials be held against the mayor, the city council, and the city judge, who is presiding. Well, Anthony Corley is going to be a judge. Tell his closest associates being the jury. Anthony stood up and banged the gavel. Then said, "This trial is now set to begin. All the defendants accused of the following crimes: fraud, corruption, bribery, funneling taxpayers' money to welfare, cheating minorities, using disabled persons, indoctrinating our children with poisonous politically correct doctrine while in school, and encouraging promiscuity by having condoms available at the high school. The person for all these crimes shall be death by firing squad. Trial shall begin." What trial? Just tell them they're guilty. Somehow the outcome was known beforehand. They want to have this trial so as to look legitimate in the eyes of the public. I mean, when you're sentencing every government official to death by putting them on trial, I doubt it's legitimate. At SDF headquarters, Zag was fighting for her life. Now there's another concern as well. Diana's been gone for hours, they said. She's no better than just to run off on her own personal vendettas. Save your bratty attitude for later, Mama yelled. That's not bratty at all. Can't you see the woman I love is in critical condition? Sure, care about my problems and the greater neat good. May was taken back from Mama was yelling at her. It wasn't too long ago after all, but she was once his girlfriend. It was 6 years. When she found out Usagi and Mama were meant to be together. She had a complaint, arguments, and even a fight, but far be it from her to stand in the way of destiny. Somehow, however, it just seemed so unfair. She began to cry. Ray, I didn't mean to snap at you like that, Mom finally said. So to God, but Michael can get the Starlight over here as soon as possible. This buried ground SDF soldier arrived and spoke to Gen Torimura. Say, you might want to see this. It's video from a surveillance camera. Seems that Miss Morgendorf is being taken in the direction of Olympic Stadium by the Naira. I think they may be planning to execute her. Mr. Chiba, Miss Kyle, I want both of you to go over and rescue our missing operative. Gen Torimura said. You're asking Tuxedo Master leap aside the woman he adores so you can launch a commando operation? That is pathetic, Mitsuru said in response. I'm pretty sure he can't spend all his time whining there. It's alright, Mama replied. Turn to you, I said. Saka, my love, I promise you that I will return to you. If wherever I lose you, I swear before that is holy, just and true that I will not rest. I saw a bastard who did this to you is stopped for all time. Quite yours lost because of my own carelessness. I don't want to lose you due to your own. This I swear. That he gathered his cape around himself, grabbed the walking cane he had, he has a limp and departed with Sailor Neptune. Just then they arrived. The Sailor Starlight, named as Sailor Starfighter, Sailor Star Maker, and Sailor Star Healer. Sailor Star Healer's talents are going to be needed. I came back as soon as I could, Makoto said. Right now I won't be surprised if we had to call on the Amazonas Quartet eventually as well. The entire city is in chaos. Where is our leader? Sailor Star Healer said. She's standing right next to you. Your Starfighter is your leader? Chiba user pointed at her. See, she's right there, right to your side. I see no one. Yata, I'm right here. If only Saya had come along. You must hurry, she said. If she dies, it'll be as if I never existed. You say that like it's a bad thing. Sailor Star Healer went over to Sailor Moon. She looked at her. This would take almost all of my healing energy, but it can be done, she said. Look, just because her name is Sailor Star Healer, she does not have actual healing powers. I mean, the fact that her main attack is Star-Sensitive Inferno should prove that it's not meant to be anything meaningful. Well, with that, she placed her hands over Usagi's forehead, and energy immediately flowed from her to Usagi. Ray got on her knees and prayed, Canon, Goddess of Mercy, spare Usagi's life. I know we haven't got along too well in the past, but I couldn't have asked for a better leader. This I pray. Look, you say, hey Canon, we haven't had our disagreement. Can you save my friend? All Luna and Artemis could do was watch, much like the show. It's all up to her now. Luna finally said she has to pull through. If she doesn't all be lost, Artemis added. Everyone was hoping for her best. Olympic Stadium was built for 1964 Summer Games. These games were meant to showcase a Tokyo that had been successfully resurrected from wartime destruction that had wreaked as much havoc on the city as did the 1923 earthquake. Now it seems a monument to past glories. Japan was in an economic slump, but the facilities seem so dated now. Sitting where Emperor Hirohito himself declared the games open, Dr. Vanderhelfen, along with Yuriko, watching some Naira soldiers tie Daria up to a flagpole for execution. As custom dictated, the soldiers asked for a few requests. Only the soldiers. Blindfold, the soldier asked. No, Daria replied. Cigarette, the soldier asked again. Daria said, I don't smoke. Finally, the soldier asked, any last words? I don't have any last words. Shot back Daria, but I do have this. She wrenched her free hand from the other soldier who was tying her up and gave the middle finger to Dr. Vanderhelfen and Yuriko. The soldier seized her hand and tied it to a flagpole. How dare she do that? Yuriko said. Dr. Van Helfen now stood up. 5 Naira soldiers were standing about 20 paces away from Daria. He took a ceremonial Prussian field march sword that had been his grandfather's, held in the air. Then I yelled, fire! And dropped my sword. Execute her, he commanded. Soldiers loaded up their rifles, and other soldiers began to beat a drum. Ready! Dr. Van Helfen shouted. The soldiers took up their rifles. Dr. Vanderhelfen, they yelled. Aim! They all focused on Daria. Dr. Vanderhelfen was now ready to yell, fire! And drop his sword, and a red rose dart hit him right between the eyes. Ah! Dr. Vanderhelfen yelled. Suddenly there was no yell. Super Neptune Typhoon! Overwhelmed! I don't think that's an actual attack. Suddenly a wall of water crashed down with firing squad, sweeping her away. I noticed that was all the way up to her chin. Then Tuxedo Mask came out of nowhere, grabbed onto the pole, and wrapping one arm around the pole and using his free hand, took a rose dart and cut the ropes binding Daria to the pole. Then he took out his walking stick that extended, and he was about to pole vault their way to the stands. She noticed that Sailor Neptune was standing there with her trident over her head. Sailor Neptune doesn't have a trident, she has a mirror. Am I ever glad to see you guys, Daria said. Save the congratulations when we get back to SDF headquarters, Tuxedo Mask said. He made good their escape. Yuriko went over to Dr. Van Helfen. Are you okay? She asked. Dr. Van Helfen replied. He got me right between the eyes. I swear I'll get vengeance to this, Yuriko said. We will have this last laugh. When Daria, Tuxedo Mask and Sailor Neptune returned to SDF HQ, Usagi was still fighting for her life. Why is this taking so long? Minako said, almost at the verge of tears. Didn't sound like she's at the verge of tears. See what your foolishness has done, Mama said. I swear, Usagi wasn't as obnoxious in the beginning as you are right now. Jesus, wait to be supportive. Why is everyone an asshole right now? Sailor Star Healer said. Ed, I'm almost at the end of my resource here. Come on, Mom, GPU was saying to herself. Dad and I are counting on you to pull through. Then that governor guy, the solar warrior, and the rest of the Nagai campaign team arrived. Who authorized you to be here? Gentorimo said. I have permission of both the Emperor and the Prime Minister, Governor Guy said. Want to file a complaint? Take it up with them. Solar warrior saw Usagi's condition and knew he had to act quickly. He took out what looked like a small yellow disc and placed it on Usagi's head. What are you doing? Sailor Star Healer said. It's a solar healing disc. Solar warrior replied. Very energy of the sun will heal her. Suddenly the disc began glowing, causing energy throughout Usagi's body. Usagi was beginning to moan in pain, but soon the pain was finally easing. Finally, within a minute, all the injuries had healed themselves. Give her time to rest, the Solar Warrior said. She is out of danger now. I think it is time you finally leveled with us and talked about who you are and how you came to be, Tito Mas said. Even when I was Endymion back in the Silver Millennium, I never heard about you or your exploits. Are you really who you claim to be, or are you working for the enemy? See, some of the doubts Usagi and Luna have about me since the beginning has rubbed off on you, the Solar Warrior said. What the hell does that mean? But now I'll finally tell my tale. Take it from me. Once you hear it, all doubt will be erased. And we'll have to save that for next time because I'm getting tired reading this right now. I'll see you all then.